Welcome on back, Rabble here, to another episode of Lone Star Wrangler football. It's the off-season for the 2022 season. We got some new students to welcome to campus. Let's take a look at our veterans and see who's leaving campus this spring. I think we only have one graduating senior. And there you have it, our first graduating senior, Keith Robinson, 61 overall wide receiver. He was great in 2 years here at Lone Star. He only had one touchdown, though. He may not have scored touchdowns, but he caught the balls when we need him to. He was a great kickoff returner. We can get some blocking. He finishes his career at Lone Star with 88 catches, 1,063 yards, and one touchdown. He had our longest pass at 50 yards first season. He averaged 42.5 yards a game. He was the fastest kid on the team the first year we played, 86 speed. He was a captain his senior year. His leadership skills helped us get to a 7-6 season in our second year. Rusty Westwood loves this kid. I hope he comes back and coaches special teams for us someday. I don't think the team's going to be the same without Keith Robinson. We'll see how we do without him. He did not get drafted. Next up, let's reward our two MVPs for both the offense and defense side of the ball. This year's Lone Star Award winner for the offense, back-to-back Lone Star Award winner, Ramon Powell, quarterback number 18. He threw it 352 times this year for 192 completions and 2,252 yards. He had 16 touchdowns and 19 interceptions. To go along with his passing stats, he had 679 yards of rushing and 4 rushing touchdowns. We ran the read option a lot more this season with his running ability. Should have done it more the first season. He came in about a third of the way through the season after local Marshall broke his collarbone and led the team to a 7-6 season and a New Orleans Bowl trophy. Hell of a season. He'll be a junior next year. We'll see if he can hold on to that starting job with local Marshall coming back from that injury. All in all, that's how Ramon Powell led our team to a great season as the Lone Star for the offense. Our defensive Lone Star Award winner. Another award goes to the defensive line. This year it's Phil Brown, left end number 59. He had 46 total tackles, 23 of those for a loss, 1 assisted tackle, but 14 quarterback sacks, tying the school record for a season with 14 sacks. He also had 1 fumble force, and that's what gets him the 2021 Lone Star Award for the defensive side of the ball. It'll be fun to see how much Phil Brown improves over the course of this offseason. One thing's for sure, our defensive coordinator, Mario Williams, sure knows how to get the most out of these kids on the defensive line. That's back-to-back defensive line winning the Lone Star Award on defense. With saying goodbye to our graduating seniors and awarding our award winners for the year, let's move on through the offseason. And with Rusty Westwood leading the Lone Star Wranglers to a New Orleans Bowl victory in a 7-6 season in his second year, the university offers him a contract extension. It's a 4-year extension that keeps us coaching here in Houston until 2025. We're taking it. We're Wranglers for life. With no scholarships to give, we have no transfer requests. We've already secured 25 recruits for the next season. Let's see how our recruitment class measures up against the nation. Despite getting 25 recruits to commit, we had the worst recruiting class in the nation at 126. That's rough. Taking on the top class was Oklahoma. They had 2 5-stars, 10 4-stars, and 7 3-stars. North Texas walked away with the best recruiting class in the Conference USA. They're ranked number 33. North Texas might be tough to take down over the next couple years. Moving Colt Winchester from running back to wide receiver. Goes from a 56 overall to a 61 overall. That'll help replace Keith Robinson. Moving Matt Henry back to fullback since recruiting another tight end. He'll compete with Padilla for starting fullback. Move Alan Pierre from free safety to right outside linebacker this year. This year, we're moving him to defensive tackle. 65 overall defensive tackle. Yeah, boy, strong. Gonna have to put on some weight, though. Chris Duke sat out the year with the red shirt, and we're gonna move him over to defensive tackle. Moving both our starting safeties from the first year to defensive tackle because they're super strong. They've been lifting weights a lot, and they're 61, 65 overall defensive tackles. We're also moving Jarrell Simmons. He's a 50 overall free safety, but we're moving to wide receiver to compete for starting time. 54 overall wide receiver before training. We're also moving Ryan Campbell to wide receiver. The 46 overall cornerback, but a 54 overall wide receiver. Our next graduating class has 2 seniors, Johnny Reynolds, Matt O'Rourke. After next year, we'll have a new starting strong safety and a new punter. We have a lot of juniors coming up, though. That's going to be a big recruiting class. I have to redshirt some people this year to make that a little bit easier on us. All right, let's see how well we trained up this offseason. Oh boy, we're going to have a quarterback controversy on our hands this year. Local Marshall improved by 5 points, is now a 70 overall. And Ramon Powell improved by 6 points and is now a 70 overall. We're going to have to decide which quarterback to start this season. Ramon Powell led us to a 7-6 season after Loco went out. But Loco did have a win under his belt. Powell ended up getting 6 of his own. I feel like we owe him a chance to start the season as a starter. You hate to see Local Marshall lose his job just because he broke his collarbone because our offensive line couldn't block. But we're going to have some big decisions to make in that department. Moving on to running backs. Clyde Simpson, who sat out last year because he transferred here, he gained 5 points in overall. The 92 speed running back. John Hart, the Bull, ran for 660 yards and 4 touchdowns last year. He gained 5 points. He's a 67 overall. He's a whopping 9 points behind Simpson. And behind him, Steamboat Sammy Fogarty gained 5 points. He's a 59 overall. At fullback, we moved Matt Henry back to fullback. He gained 4 points. He's a 58 overall. And George Padilla is a 54 overall. To decide what to do here, Padilla is definitely a better runner, but I feel like Henry might be a better blocker. At wide receiver, we're going to be mossing teams all season. He's a 70 overall now, gaining 5 points. Finally broke the 80 speed threshold as well. Gamlin Lee's right behind him at 67 plus 4. Holy cow, Bobby Haynes gained a whopping 6 points. He's a 67 overall as well. We love him in the slot. And Colt Winchester, who we moved from halfback, now he's our 4th wide receiver, plus 4 on the offseason, 65 overall wide receiver. Redshirt freshman's Tyree and Gonzalez at 60 overall is right behind him. Bruce Irvin, hopefully he improved in the catching department because he had a whole bunch of drops last season. He had 16 drops last year. That's more than 1 per game. Goff gains plus 6 to just be right behind him at 57 overall. Got a whole new lineup of starting linemen for the most part, so most of these guys don't really matter. Fortunately, they did a great job starting this last year and get us to 7-6, but we got some better JUCO transfers coming in to fill their shoes. Except for Doc Hollandaise, I think he'll still be starting at a 65 overall. He gained plus 5 in overall. His backup, Richard Fromage, he's plus 6, 60 overall. At right guard, Peter Beater, he's a 66 overall with a plus 5. Move Taylor and Wallace over to right tackle to compete for this backup position. Looks like Taylor beat him out with a plus 4. He's a 59 overall now. Oh, we redshirted Jake Braun last year because he was about the same overall as Phil Brown, but during the season and off season, Phil Brown jumps him with a plus 5 overall training. He's a 60 overall now. That's Lombardi semifinalist Phil Brown. At right end, Ryan Stone goes up plus 4. He's a 66 overall now. We moved Pierre and Dukes to defensive tackle. They're the smallest defensive tackles you'll ever see in the league, but they're fast and strong. We'll see how they do. Pierre went up to a 69, nice overall with a plus 4. Dukes is 66 with a plus 5. Morales is a 60 with a plus 5. Jim Healy down here plus 6, but only up to a 55 overall defensive tackle. He might not be seeing the field that much this year. He ended up only getting 2 sacks last season. Got 11 career sacks. Oh, and the Storm Rider still gains plus 5 in the offseason. He's a 67 overall now. Ranger McGraw gains a plus 5. He's a 68 overall now. Probably have a new starting right outside linebacker. But Blue Phillips gained plus 4. He's a 61 overall now. Gunnar Cannon plus 3, 66. He'll probably be our number 2 corner this year. Dusty Blue Bonnet might fall back to slot or 4th corner with the plus 5, 61 overall rating. We have a lot of new corners on the roster this year. Interesting to see where they all line up in the depth chart going forward. At free safety, Arthur Morgan, the best player on the roster. He's a 78 overall, plus 5 in the offseason. At Johnny Reynolds, he's a senior this year. He's a plus 4, 72 overall, strong safety now. He's up to 90 speed. Him and Morgan are going to be great playing safeties back there, being our best players on the team. Ooh, Mark Henry gained plus 5, 70 overall kicker. He might be able to hit a 50-yarder this year. And our other senior for this season, Matt O'Rourke, he's a 55 overall punter now, plus 5 in the offseason. Did not gain any speed though, so the big boy's not going to be any faster running the fake punt. All in all, I think it was a great off-season training result. Going to be interesting to see what we do in quarterback. Let's take a closer look at these two. Local Marshall, 79-79. Awareness is 65. And then there's Powell, who's a 70 overall. He's a little bit slower, 61 overall speed, but he's got 68 throwing power and throwing accuracy. And his awareness is at 99. So Loco's definitely got the arm on Powell, but Powell's got the smarts. So there's our training results. Now we got to move on to cut people down. We're going to have to make some big cuts. We're going to have to make at least 20 cuts, I think, get our roster down. Let's see what we got to do. 24 cuts. We're at 94 students on the roster right now. We got to have 70. Let's cut it down. All right, here's our schedule for the 2022 season. We'll open the season at a neutral site game against Houston at Reliance Stadium. After going 1-1 over the past 2 years, Houston Cougars say, hey, let's play at a neutral site. Let's play at the big old Reliance Stadium. Make this game an event for the city of Houston. Our next game will be at Texas. They're number 3 in the nation. They're the highest preseason ranked team in Texas. We'll be taking them on. After that, we'll visit Texas State and finish our home-and-home contract with them. After that, we'll wrap up non-conference play at home against number 19 TCU. TCU, our rival. And then it's on to Conference USA play. We have Florida Atlantic at home. We're at Middle Tennessee State. We're at North Texas. We got Southern Miss at home. We're at UTEP. We're at home against UTSA. We're at Louisiana Tech. And we're at home against Rice to finish the season with another rivalry game. After going 7-6 this past season, I'm excited to see where we go this season. Can we win the Conference USA in our third year? That's our goal. Wanted to check on our overall before going into the regular season. We are a 61 overall team across the board, offense, defense, and overall, and we're now a 2-star program. That means we can stop recruiting just 1-stars and go after 2-stars, and then have 2 3-star athletes plus 1 unlimited athlete on our recruiting board. That's going to help the team develop in the future. I'm excited to improve this program. Let's go. We filled up our recruiting board, and we found our top 3 recruits for this year. Our top interested player interested in our school is Marcel Mays. He's a 69 overall wide receiver. Our defense recruit is Craig Fernando, hometown hero from Houston, Texas. He's a 3-star middle linebacker, 69 overall. And then our one athlete, I guess technically is our offensive recruit, the 3-star athlete, and he scouted out to be a gem, a 72 overall athlete. Can't wait to see what he can play as. His carrying's kind of low, but he's got some good catching skills. Probably plays either wide receiver, running back, and probably some safety. Let's introduce you to the 2022 class of new recruits for the Lone Star Wranglers. At quarterback, number 2, Dallas Davis. At wide receiver, number 87, One-Eye Earl Nielsen. Also at wide receiver, number 85, Rusty Shackelford. At tight end, number 86, Robert E. Lawless. At left tackle, number 65, Noah Rivers. Also at left tackle, number 66, Black Jack Austin. At left guard, number 72, William Billy Bob Jenkins. At center, number 71, Reginald Ryder Anderson. At right guard, number 63, Pancho Villa. At right tackle, number 70, Horace Big Hoss Diamond. Also at right tackle, number 60, Clint Longmire. At left end, number 99, Buck Wild. At right end, number 97, Isaac Big Iron McIntyre. At defensive tackle, number 96, Jack Neely. He is Big Jim Neely's cousin from Middle Valley, Tennessee. At outside linebacker, number 52, Michael Scar-Tongue Mudd. Also at left outside linebacker, number 50, Jonathan Bandit Thousand. At right outside linebacker, number 12, Dexter 12-gauge McClintock. Also at right outside linebacker, number 53, Earl the Hangman Scruggs. At cornerback, number 24, Colt Smith Wesson. Also at cornerback, number 20, Marshall Lone Wolf Wyatt. Another cornerback, number 42, Harold the Rounder Hartman. And another new cornerback, number 39, Scoots McShoots. At free safety, number 28, Rick the Cowboy Sanchez. At strong safety, number 41, Andrew Weston, his nickname Smith. Also at strong safety, number 40, Henry Quick Draw Johnson. And that is the new class of recruits for the 2022 Wranglers. Welcome to campus. Now that you know who the new students are, let's take a look at who we're redshirting this year. Dallas Davis, our freshman quarterback, is redshirting. We will be redshirting John the Bull Hart this year, since Clyde Simpson is now the starting running back. That way, Steamboat Sammy Fogarty will be on the field once again, because I know he's a fan favorite, or at least he's a favorite of mine. This will give John the Bull Hart another year to develop and be ready to pick up where Simpson leaves off when he leaves after his senior year. At wide receiver, we're redshirting incoming JUCO transfer Earl Nielsen. He's the 4th wide receiver on our roster, and he's a junior right now. And since he's a junior, like the 3 people in front of him in this depth chart, I want to give him another year to develop. That way, once these guys all graduate, he's got a year or 2 to be the top of the class. Also redshirting Ryan Campbell, who we moved over from safety, be a wide receiver. He's a 59 overall. And Rusty Shackelford will redshirt as a true freshman. At tight end, we're giving Butch Slim Irvin a year to develop, because we have Robert E. Lawless coming in to start over him. That will give him another year to catch up with Lawless. By the end of their careers, they'll be about the same overall. On the offensive line, incoming true freshman left tackle Jack Austin will redshirt. That way, he's ready to step in as a redshirt sophomore as a starting left tackle once Noah Rivers graduates. At left guard, we're redshirting little John Neely, Jim Neely's little brother. That gives him another year to develop, since he's a 58 overall compared to our new starting left guard, a 68 overall. At center, we're redshirting both Reginald Anderson and Jermaine Clark. Reggie's a 62 overall, and he's 2nd on the depth chart. I want to give him a chance to develop one more year. At right guard, we're redshirting true freshman Pancho Villa. He's a 65 overall, 1 point behind Peter Beater. Give him another year to develop, and he'll be competing with Peter Beater next year for the starting position. And then at right tackle, we are redshirting both Clint Longmire, true true freshman, and Terrell Taylor, true sophomore. This will give Taylor and Longmire years to develop. That way they're ready to compete for the starting job once Horace Diamond graduates in 2 years. At left end, we are redshirting Buck Wild. He's a 61 overall, which means he's only 1 point overall better than Phil Brown. That way we give Lombardi Award semifinalist Phil Brown another year to be the starting left end. Then him and Wild and Braun will all be competing for the starting left end job next year. At right end, we are redshirting Isaac McIntyre, true freshman. He's a 59 overall. I mean, if you look at all of our defensive ends right now, they're all 59 to 61. We got very big competition at our defensive end. You know, defensive coordinator Mario Williams wants to get the best out of his defensive line. At the defensive tackle position, since we recently moved Pierre and Dukes, our former safeties, to the defensive tackle, because they are heck strong, man. They're heck strong. We got Jack Neely. He's a true freshman, 57 overall. We're redshirting him. And to give Jim Neely another year to develop a defensive tackle, we're redshirting him since he's so far down the depth chart. At left outside linebacker, we are redshirting both Michael Mudd and Jonathan Thousand as true freshmen. We got Owen Steele starting there for the next couple years, and we got depth at the other side of the outside linebacker position. John Wayne will be helping fill in on all linebacker positions. Also redshirting incoming JUCO transfer Earl Scruggs. He's a 64 overall. They'll give him another year to develop and 2 more years to play as a 64 overall linebacker. At the corner position, we are redshirting true freshman Harold Hartman, the 65 overall, 4th on the depth chart. Want to give him another year to develop behind all these sophomores we have starting. And Dusty Bluebonnet, he was a great starter for us last year, but now that we have a lot of depth at the corner position, we could redshirt him and give him another year to develop and another year to compete for starting positions later in his career. At free safety, incoming true freshman Rick Sanchez will redshirt. He's a 60 overall. Give him a year to develop and be ready to fill in for Arthur Morgan if he's ever hurt or once he graduates. And then at strong safety, Henry Johnson, he's redshirting true freshman, 63 overall. He's third on the depth chart, no reason not to redshirt him. And those are all the players we're redshirting for the 2022 season. All right, we have a quarterback controversy right now. Who's going to be the starting quarterback this year for the Lone Star Wranglers? Let's go practice. Let's do the summer scrimmage. Rusty Westwood spent all spring football and all summer camp installing a new playbook. Here's a look at our new formations in our new playbook. In shotgun, we got normal, wing trips, offset, tight, spread, split, bunch. The flex bone, we got close and normal. And pistol, we got ace, full house, slot, spread, H-twins, strong, weak, bunch. The summer scrimmage is going to decide who starts game 1 against the Houston Cougars. We're going to pick one of my favorite plays out of the playbook and give each cornerback 10 reps. Whoever performs the best out of their 10 reps will be the starting quarterback. We bring the play out of the shotgun normal formation ZN. Down to the 4-yard line with big play Bobby Haynes, 26 yards. Interception. With a little help from big play Bobby Haynes, it's a 30-yard touchdown. Incomplete. And another 30-yard touchdown to big play Bobby Haynes. Corey Moss for 6 yards. 7 yards to Corey Moss. 15 yards to Moss. Incomplete. And a sack. Incomplete. 12 yards to the tight end. Incomplete. Interception. Dropped. Oh, incomplete. Incomplete. 18 yards to the tight end. Incomplete. Sack. and the competition wasn't even close. Powell was 6 for 9 for 114 yards, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. He was sacked 1 time. Marshall was 2 for 9 for just 30 yards and 1 interception. He was also sacked 1 time. So it looks like Ramon Powell will be our starting quarterback this season. He's got the best awareness, won the most games as a starter. It's kind of hard to take it away from him after last season, coming in and leading us to a bowl game. And that does it for this episode of Lone Star Wrangler football. Next time we take on and rival Houston at home in Robertson Stadium, the inner city rivalry between the Cougars and the Wranglers. Don't miss it. Until next time, remember folks, don't drink downstream from the herd.